Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Out of Our League. I have a super fun guest to talk to today, and we are excited to have her. She's done a lot of work for Kind of Funny, or not work, but a lot of fun fan art for Kind of Funny. So you might have seen that on Twitter or around the internet. But first, before we get there, Gage, how are you today?
Oh, I'm great. I'm fantastic. Happy to be back.
I hear you rearranged your sleep schedule for this.
Yeah, because we had a few shows booked for today, and I wanted to make sure I was here for every single one of them, and I wasn't half asleep during it. So
um, and I mean that's you're my only co-host today, so let's get right into it. Vesenia design, Vesenia Lindsey. It is Lindsey, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Did I say that properly?
Yeah, you did.
Awesome. Uh, Thank you for being here. It's really exciting to have you. You approached me, which was really fun. I don't get that very often. Usually I'm emailing people, and it's nice to have someone reach out to me because there's so many people that I want to have on this show that we want to talk to, because we don't limit ourselves to like one field, right? We like having artists on, we like having musicians on, we like having actors on, we like having people in the news journalism YouTube space come on. And so it's always nice when someone reaches out to me because there's so many people, and it's hard to get to remember who you've emailed, who you haven't emailed, who you messaged on Instagram or Twitter or wherever else. So thank you for reaching out to us. It's awesome to have you here, and I'm really excited to talk about what you have kind of to promote during this show. But
Oh.
before we get there, if people don't know who you are, who are you?
Well, I'm Vesenia Lindsey, but you guys can call me Vess. I'm usually on, doing art on YouTube, or if not, I'm definitely on Twitch, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Fridays. So there I do my art, I talk to people, mostly doing my commissions and having fun, with the community, because I like to build all the artists together and us talk and us learn from each other and go back and forth, and it's a blessing.
Yeah, I've been in some of your streams, and it's always fun to hear the banter while you're working. People will throw something out, or you'll be talking about a fun story or something, all while you're working on an amazing piece of art. So, what inspired you to actually? I might have a community question for this. Hang on.
Oh goodness.
Um, okay, not quite, not quite. But we'll get to the community questions soon. But what inspired you to be an artist? Like, when did you know that that's something you wanted to do?
My goodness. Ever since I would say 5, because I picked up a coloring book, and those like little squares, it's like a grid, and then it shows you on the other side
Oh
what it
yeah,
should look like.
yeah,
I was
absolutely.
addicted to those, like, just religiously going and going and going, and I will go through, I would say, a coloring page every day. So, I had to get, like, 2 or 3. My grandmother would had to get me through 2 or 3, and, one day she was like, "Let me test your skills, here's a blank piece of paper, try that." And I remember drawing Bugs Bunny, like, off the TV, and she was like, "This is bonkers." So after that, it was just a full ride on just learning stuff. And then, I was born and raised in New York, so that's like the place where you get all the great art. I mean, street art, we call it trash art because they put all this trash together and make sculptures. So yeah, definitely was inspired since very little.
That's awesome. We actually have something similar to that where I am called the kinetic sculpture race.
Mm.
And it's literally you have to take um, kinetic items, so there's no like gas motors or electric motors or anything, and create a sculpture that is completely powered by you, and go on this kind of marathon with it.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
cool.
it's pretty neat. Um, So it's always really neat to see stuff like that, whether it's a sculpture, whether it's graffiti that's really well done and not just a tag on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Um, but that's awesome. So you grew up around like art culture and just kind of fell in love with it. Did you take any art classes, in like school, in like high school or anything like that?
Yeah, like the basic ones that they give you. And
Yeah.
I did that for a while, and I ended up going to the Art Institute of New York, and well, once college came around, but it was only for graphic design, and they only taught us how to sharpen our skill versus how to learn something. So I was doing a lot of like, I would say fine art. It was never like too much anime and manga because they were like, that's not real art. So yeah.
It's definitely interesting to see how much people have kind of started their own classes, whether it's I can't remember all the websites not off the top of my head, but there's so many different websites where people are doing their own seminars, like Skillshare I think is one of them.
Yeah.
And then they're doing classes to just kind of give people an idea of how to do, like, whether it's animation or classical art or more of an anime style, or at least refining your own kind of technique. And I think that's
Yeah.
really cool. But is there a reason you never got into it, like for someone else, like why you've never worked for somebody else?
No, I always, well, like for me, it was, I know it sounds tragic, but I was in an abusive home when I was younger. So like art was my outlet to like just escape from all that. And it was a place where I can make my own world and live in that world and live in that dream. So um like to this day, art is my job, but you will catch me after finishing, after turning off the computer and everything. I have my food next to me with my sketchbook next to me, just sketching. And like my husband is like, you need to stop. And I'm like, I can't. It's just I gotta go. I got things to create. It's things that need to come out. So it's just been it's been very like therapeutic for me. And I guess I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not a detriment to your life, that's, what more could you ask for, right? And if
Yeah.
if that's the worst, what's the word I'm looking for? Not obsession, it's like your fix, like you need to have it, your habit. Then I think that's a great habit to have. A great crux to have to lean on, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, how did you get started, kind of promoting yourself, getting yourself out there to where people were commissioning you for art and you were actually making money for what you were doing, your passion?
Um, I would say it's like around 2015, because like around that time, I was like 1 year into my marriage with my husband, and I had got the rest of my stuff from my mom's house. So he was looking through my stuff and he was looking at all like the pages I created and was like, this needs to be something. And I was like, no, not my comics that I used to draw. That doesn't belong to the world. And he's like, yeah, you have to do it. So ended up looking at it. I'm like, okay, sure, and I was making them, creating them, going to different conventions, and then I ended up meeting Victor Dandruff. He's like big in like Fan Expo or like Wizard World and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he was like, "You belong on this side of the table. You need to be here." And I was like, How do I get there then? Like, you need to show me." And he gave me the ropes of like how to do it, where to get my books printed and everything. Ended up doing that. And I was like, I don't want to be in this journey like alone. I wanna, like, have other people be with me on it, because 'cause I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who has these type of questions or are trying to get in this type of field. So, there was my husband, he's a plumber, and he'll be gone, and he'll come back, and then he'll be gone again, then he'll come back. And I was like, I would like some people to talk to, so that's when like streaming became a thing, and like, making videos. And from there I was like building building a community of people who were actually getting into comics and wanting to go to conventions and wanting to tell their story. And I was like, this is fantastic. This is exactly what I wanted to do, like, hang out with like-minded people and we all bouncing ideas off of each other. So instead of struggling, we give each other a speed up to, how to get into these things and how to try to make art your business.
Now, you said that that started in 2015. So, did you have like another job that you were working at the same time to just kind of make ends meet?
Yeah, I was doing odd
Yeah.
jobs. Like my father-in-law, he owns real estates. So he would tell me, "Hey, Vess, you want to clean this? Hey, Vess, you want to paint the room?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll do it." And then I worked at Party Place for a little bit, and then I got out of that because it was seasonal, and I was there
Yeah.
for Halloween. So I was sitting there like helping people match their costumes and make it look nice. But yeah, it was random. I was a very random person.
Now, do you have the ability now to where you're just concentrating on your art?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely. And
That's
that's
like
because
the
like
dream, right?
yeah, like my husband, he runs his own plumbing business, so he handles that. And then I do the commissions and then I
Right.
have my books to do the conventions. So, and then content creators. So like all that it helps with, paying the bills.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome that you have someone that is able to support you in that way, that is, supportive of what you're doing. It's so important that if you're going to let somebody in your life, that they would do anything to help you with your dream, um, and not put your dream down. So that's awesome.
Definitely.
So, one of the major reasons that you reached out to me was you have a manga styled comic that you are working on. You've been working on it for a long time. And there's a few volumes out already, right? But there's
Yes,
something
nine.
special coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so uh for those who don't know, I make my comic called Celestial Pulse. Right now I have 9 issues. Our main character, which is Fuji, is a modern fantasy. It has a lot of mythical powers, is mystery, definitely any electronics. She can make things happen with it with her powers. But yeah, our main character, she is actually trying to hone her powers, learn everything so that she can stop a war and find out who's behind it. And I'm a 9 issues deep. I'm going on my 10th one. This is the ninth one. And what's coming up next, which is next month, is Posttober. So Posttober is actually a community thing that we've been doing every every October. We'll draw our community mascot Pulsey into very detailed pieces. I'm gonna show you what hopefully is not too gruesome, but yeah, very detailed in different ways. So right now we're working on Marvel versus DC. So I've finished up my DC bunches of arts that I've done, and now we're working on Marvel. So I'm gonna make another art book for that and run a Kickstarter, and that's coming up very soon.
It's awesome. So I know I see that those are beautifully printed. It looks like a comic book you'd find on any comic book shelf in a store.
Mm.
And the book also with the hardcover and the fold over with the paper and
Yeah.
everything looks super professional. So where do you start when you want to put something like this together?
um, mo okay, so I'm like a mad scientist for art. So most of the time what I do is I'll draw my images, and as time progresses behind the scenes, I'm still drawing and putting together like layouts on Clip Studio, because like Clip Studio is a nice program to like create comics or web comics or anything that you're trying to do in that aspect, or like print in general. Um, so I'll have everything set up in this book format. You look it up on Lulu how to like put it together, and then like you just do the pages. And after you're done with the pages, they turn into like a PDF you can send over and print it out. But yeah, it's mostly just like me. I will work on it. And these are done by hand. So it's not much work. It's just putting together, giving a cute little name, and then like going off with that. I would say this is the only part that I did digital, which is the entire book. And I went to school for graphic design. So like doing things like this is a no-brainer. I love it, you know. It's like making a label.
Now you said that that was done through something called Lulu. Is that what you said?
Yeah, to print it, it was Lulu. But to like actually put it together, Clip Studio works perfect. You just tell it you're making a book, and it'll give you all like the bleed, the margins, and everything that you need to
That's really cool.
yeah.
So, for those that don't know, Clip Studio is an art program that is available both on PC and iPad. And I think Android.
Hmm.
The iPad version, I don't know if it has those same features. Matt Ferguson will have to get us in the comments on that one because he uses the
Yeah.
iPad version.
He doesn't watch this show.
You know what? I'm calling him out this time. Okay, Gage, I'm calling him out. Um, but that's really neat. That's kind of there's a program on Mac called Pages, or not Pages. Pages is one of them, but there's another one that I'm not remembering the name of. But uh, it just helps you when you're formatting like a script for a movie or a book or all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. So it's really neat to know that Clip Studio has something like that, but for art.
You think of?
Yeah.
I mean, Pages does that for sure.
Pages does do that 100%. It's just there's like a
God,
specific one that I'm forgetting right
I'm
now
trying
that's
to
like
find it on my phone, but it's all just jumbled together with all the Google stuff as well.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. They also
Um
handle webtoons too. So like if you're doing webtoons and you want that layout, how like if you scroll up,
yeah, you just keep scrolling.
it does it. It does the keep scrolling. So you don't
Oh,
have
that's neat.
to bust your brain on how to figure it out.
Now, is that something you've ever thought of? Is there a reason that you've never gotten into doing a webtoon and you did the print version instead?
I think it's the panels. Like I don't like the idea of like just one panel. I like the idea to play with my panels. Because I get to break them up in the way that I would like to make them. And then my panels tend to direct the reader so that it helps them, read it
The
regularly.
flow.
Yeah, because even though it's manga inspired, it's not read manga ways, it's read regular. But when it comes down to like just leading the character, I'm trying to see if I can find a good one here. But it's just like when I want to like direct the reader to something, I can do it. So like bigger panels is more of like more expression, more pow. And then like the smaller ones,
God, the
they tend to
detail is
help it.
mind-blowing.
Yeah, this is the the ninth issue which just came out, and I had to draw all the little bugs and stuff. Another thing with my style, a lot of people think that I won't have no backgrounds, I won't have any detail, but when they open the book, they're like, "Wait a minute." This is definitely not what I expected, but you could see how like I will cut up things, and then like here, she's telling her sister about you reading this book, you're reading this book. Oh, what's this book? So it helps with I like to help guide the reader, and I don't get to do that in Webtoon. So I was like, I'd rather print it out.
Now, you just said that that's the ninth issue and it's the most recent one. How
Mhm.
long have you been working on it from issue, like concepting the idea to issue 9?
Yeesh. The first time I ever created this story was at 14. So like just me picking up printer paper and going crazy with that, and drawing different panels. I've been doing that ever since I was 14. But when I hit 21, I was like, oh, my husband, when he had found it, he was like, let's turn this into something because it's actually a really good story. So I would say it's been almost like 6, 7 years I've been working on this. and I have, I have 9 issues. So
Hey, I
yeah.
mean, the work shows. Like I said, those are beautifully detailed panels, like bright, vibrant color. There's a reason that when you look at comic book art, for the most part, these people are working. It's 5 different people.
Mhm.
They're working. One guy is doing the story. One is doing the line art. One is doing the coloring. One is doing the typing for all the text and layout for all that stuff. The layout person, the text person, and all of those come together to make a single issue in a month.
Right.
So that's an insane amount of work in a short amount of time. So when you look at the fact that there are 5 people working on it, and they are scrambling to try and get an issue done in a month, um, and you think about that, it's not too crazy to think that you've been working on it for 7 years and have 9 issues. I think that's pretty
Right.
amazing. Doing every single panel as detailed as you're doing it by yourself. So
Yeah. Yeah.
now, oh, go ahead.
Work. I said it. Yeah, it is work. A lot of people are when they're like, "You're doing everything." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "What?" So, yeah, it makes sense.
So, now I lost my train of thought, of course.
No.
No, it's okay. Um, So when you're working on something like this, are there any shortcuts that you utilize to kind of make it easier on yourself? Or are you literally going in and drawing each uh, spine of the book and going in and doing all that detail?
I would have to say I like to draw my backgrounds in 3 different ways so I can be able to move the image and shift it so it could look like there's some type of perspective for the characters. And I just recently found out that I can use a blend mode called linear burn with like a nice either a cool gray or a warm gray, just like almost like a tannish color to go over my colors, like my base colors. And it'll just be like one swipe. All I have to do is just, think about it real good to make sure that the color theory makes sense, and then add the highlights and it'll be, completely done from there. But yeah, I usually for the backgrounds, definitely if I'm gonna make it very detailed, I like to just like make sure it's nice, big, and then just like zoom in if I have to, or like push it to the side and um definitely if like the characters are talking and stuff like that. And it helps 100%.
Sorry, my dog's just barked in the background.
Yeah,
Gage, take
look
over for a
out.
second.
Okay. So I fairly, it could be a quick question, could be a longer one. I'm just kind of curious. Are there any like, obviously you have your manga you're doing and stuff like that, but is there like the one big, huge thing that is like your end goal that you want to do at some point?
Not really. Like I think it's just the comic. Everything else is basically projects from other people. Or if like I'm creating fan art from like, jokes that happen within other content creators that I like to watch. And I take my time to focus on those and be true to it so that, the people that I do follow, they're like, yo, that is me. Like that's my essence.
All right. So that leads me to a question for our community. As you can see, Gage's shirt there, he's got a kind of funny shirt on.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a kind of funny fan.
Yes.
Um, how did that blessing um, Halloween King image come about? First of all, and second, where did you come up with the design for Imran's suit that he has in that in that picture?
So it's funny. I've been hearing see, Blessing didn't know nothing about Halloween. He was like completely like, no, I don't. he thought that the colors was orange and black, I think, or something like that.
It was
And
like it
or
was like
purple.
green and purple or
Yeah,
something like
green or
that.
purple. It was something of that. And
Purple
he
was
was
definitely in there for sure.
yeah. So somebody had called him out on it and he's like, nah, I know everything about Halloween. Just started going off on that and Greg was pissed. He was like, wait a minute, no, I'm the Halloween king. That's not happening. And I love the back and forth. And especially when Spirit of Halloween gave him the brand new updated version of that suit. Blew my mind. I was like, why would they do that? So while they were arguing and one, they were going at it. Um, I heard Emron say, "Well, do they have a cheesecake one? Because I like cheesecake." And I was like, "Ooh, I have the perfect idea of what I would like to do." Because he was kind of neutral. So I was like, it would be funny if I put Greg in the old suit, Blessing in the suit that he has, and give him the crown, like how he wears because he does his dancing and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And Enron just make up a cheesecake outfit. So I drew like different type of pieces of cheesecake and turned that into a pattern. And I had to like add some strawberry type of, I don't know what you call that. It's like a lacy type thing coming around with
Hmm.
like the little
Like the
strawberry
sash.
clip. Yeah, and then give him like the granola looking top of the crown just so that he could be part of it because he was a part of it and I like the fact that he was like, I would like a cheesecake suit, you know? I like your suit, Blessing, but a cheesecake one would be mine. And I was like, yeah, I could see him in the cheesecake one.
Yeah, that was the image for me where I started lurking on your streams and started following you on Twitter and actually messaged you and was like, "Hey, we do this dumb, not kind of funny KFAF Photoshop show since KFAF wasn't happening anymore. Do you mind if we use that image in our King of Halloween episode where we're doing Greg versus Blessing?" And it was great. It was absolutely fantastic. It was wonderful to talk to you, and it got me into checking out your streams whenever I have time. It's always hard because I'm usually working, so I try and hop in, but I don't usually talk because I just leave it on in the background. But it's always cool to see what you're working on.
Yeah, thank you for even stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
But yeah, that image was absolutely fantastic.
I'm so happy
Um,
that the community liked it a lot because, kind of funny. The kind of funny friends, man, they be cracking me up and they make the greatest, I would say, greatest pieces or greatest memes for them. So to actually be part of that it was just like exhilarating. I was like, this makes no sense. And then my husband, he's also a kind of funny fan. So he's like, yo, Vess, your stuff is like everywhere. And I was like, what? And we were just Google Gaga at that point.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
Imran even used the outfit for his profile picture for a while, if I
he
remember
sure
correctly.
did. He loved it, and that's why I was like paying attention to everything, like every little detail, because I was like, I want them to love it, and I want them to feel like this is me. I could see myself in this outfit, or I could see myself portraying that character.
That's awesome. Now, have you done a platinum tier reward for them yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, we're gonna have to fix that. We're gonna
Listen, I've been telling my husband, I was like, if they ever wanted me to work for them, I will definitely be on it. Because I love that community. I love them as a whole. Everybody from Greg, Blessing, Mike, Emron, all of them, Joey, all of them. I love them so much. They're so funny and so amazing. And they make working out great because we'll just be listening to them and working out. And it's just fantastic to be part of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I will reach out and let them know that you want to do some work for maybe a platinum reward tier, and can't promise anything, but you know Um, hopefully Joey sees that and she checks you out and hits you up.
Definitely.
So they're always looking for new fresh talent from the community to do stuff. They have an amazing kind of dedicated artist that does a lot of their general
Yeah.
rewards. But they're always looking for people to do like that special pop, usually around like July, August, September. So we'll see.
Definitely.
But that'd be awesome. I'd love to see you up there. Some of my favorite people that I've met, artists that I've met on Twitter, have gotten that chance. Salish is one of them. He's a um, UI designer over at EA, but he has a passion for art. And his art is absolutely incredible, just vibrant colors, and he's got like
Nice.
this really unique style influenced by his culture, and just very, very nice and wonderful person. And that's how I met him, was through the Kind of Funny community and his love for the Kind of Funny community. And he got a chance to do his platinum reward tier. I
Nice.
think I want to say it was earlier this year. You may have seen it if you look for the rewards and see what they are. But it was the one where all of them were Avengers.
Oh, I seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
He did that
that's
piece?
yep.
Oh, snaps. That's dope. I love
So
that piece.
yeah, absolutely gorgeous. He also did an amazing piece of Tim holding his dog in the like blue and gold jacket. That's really good.
Nice.
Anyway, we got to
Yeah,
get you up there. Is
there's
what I'm
there's
saying. We
some
got to get
really
you up
great
there.
talented
I'm gonna
people.
campaign. I'm gonna
Yes,
campaign to get
definitely.
Vess on the platinum reward tier.
Right. That'd be amazing. Like, it's a great community. I can't I can't knock it. It's just so good.
My current campaign is trying to get Ryan Colt Levy on the show.
Mhm.
Ryan is a voice actor. He just got cast as the lead character in Chainsaw Man for the English dub,
Oh.
and we've been friends for a long time. I think he was within our first like 5 guests or so,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
like
he was very early on.
very early on.
He's like the only.
Wow.
We've had a couple people come back for like one show afterwards, but he has been on like I think 4 pieces of our content. Just like,
Yeah.
yeah, he is.
Dang.
He is awesome.
Yeah,
We
he's
love Ryan.
very, very open with his community. Very similar to you, actually, where he's just very involved with his community, and he's got almost when I first started following him, he was at like 3,500 followers. Now he's at
Oh,
16,000, and
dang.
he still takes time out of his day to like respond to people and like tweets. And he every Sunday he holds a stream where he like chats with everybody, and sees how all the fans are doing and stuff. And it's just really cool to see that love, and that, for someone who's getting just busier and busier, to take time out of their day to continue to support the people that are supporting him. And I think that's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
I feel like it's needed, you know?
yeah,
It just tells the
absolutely.
people, "Hey, look, I see you guys. Thank you."
Yeah, and again, like that's what you were saying earlier. That's the great thing about the Kind of Funny community, right? Is the fact that there's so many amazing people that are always willing to, be a kind of funny best friend.
Right.
That's really neat. So that's my current campaign, is I really want them to get him on a show for, um, like the not the morning show, but whatever, the Kind of Funny podcast, where he gets to be a
Yeah.
guest on there. And because they oftentimes have, people of note on that show to talk and whatnot.
Right.
But anyway, um so getting back to the real subject of the show, which is you.
We can talk about this forever.
um so when you started streaming, how did that come about, as far as like building your following? Was it slow at first? Was there ever a time when you got like disappointed and you weren't sure if you wanted to keep trying to do it, or was it just always a fun way to express yourself? And it didn't matter if people were watching, but when people started watching, it became more fun.
I can honestly say it was just something that I like to do so I can interact with other people. And then it kind of caught on quick because I didn't notice how big a lot of people were into creating their own mangas and their own animes and stuff. And to see me do it, I guess and a lot of them say that it inspires them, you know. And that I take that to heart because like I never see myself to be an inspiration to other people to create their own craft. Um so yeah, it kind of like blew up in my face kind of fast. And then being a part of a lot of other communities that tend to do things for their communities, like, um kind of funny does it, Dashy XP does it, JD does it. And those are the type of people I look to and I watch their stuff. And I was like, I like the way that their community is built because everybody feels like they're together, they're like friends, so I was like, I would like that. And it that's how it was. It was just I will turn on the camera. Hey, Vass, how you doing? Sometimes people will be in the chat and I'm not even there yet. And they're talking to each other. And it's great because it's like, I'm glad that you guys are getting along enough to hang out and you look forward to it, you know? You don't need me, but you come and hang out with me even though it's just yeah, it's that's how it was, just inspiration because I wanted to try it out and see how it will fall into place.
So as far as the equipment that you had when you started, did you have a decent setup, or was it just like whatever you had thrown together?
Oh goodness, it was a bad webcam. I was I was using the webcam from the computer and my tablet was breaking apart. So it looked like I was recording from a sandwich at that point. But so it was bad. So I tell people all the time, if you want to start, go ahead and start. It doesn't matter, you know. Um, Technology now is a lot better than it was back when I was starting because
Oh my
everything was all
gosh.
grainy.
I
Uh,
remember when, I started doing digital art for the first time. I had like this really cheap tablet that had a little piece of plastic that you'd fold up so you could put your sketch underneath it and start sketching over it.
oh
Um,
goodness.
but like there was no screen, so you had to like watch your monitor, and it really messes with you when you, because I'm somebody who like has to see where my pencil is going for my lines. So when I'm looking up at a monitor and doing it, like I have the utmost respect for those people that did that professionally for the longest time. Like the like late '90s, early 2000s people that were working on Half-Life or whatever, whatever the
Oh
game
my
was at the time.
goodness.
um
Imagine.
just like looking up at their monitor trying to tweak textures or do whatever, or doing it by like you go back and you look at movies or something and you look at a 3D sequence, and now you've got thousands of different plugins that you can use for smoke or for physics or for whatever else, and that they're over here doing the actual math to try and get everything to look and work properly and trying to figure out the best kind of um rendering process to use to make it look like real smoke.
Yes, that's how it was. Or like they will
Like,
use animatronics because they didn't want to deal with that type of stuff.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what was that Little Shop of Horrors? Oh my goodness. Their stuff is still clean to this day.
Oh, so yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think obviously Jurassic Park is one of the best examples of a mixture of the two, where
Mhm.
originally they were going to do animatronic and stop motion, but they just didn't like the way the stop motion looked. So somebody over at, I think, ILM created a T-Rex skeleton and showed an animation of that walking to Spielberg, and he was like, that is what I want, now make it look good. And they did that, and it's ended up being one of the, even to this day, CG from 1993, it still holds up for the most part in comparison to some movies that have the most recent technology. It's just crazy.
So true. So very
But
true.
yeah, it's amazing to see how far art has come. I mean, look at like the old Flash artists for like Newgrounds, or YouTube, early YouTube stuff, for those animations. They were probably using Flash, or compiling the animations by hand. And
Yeah.
now it's like you can get Procreate on your iPad and do an animation.
Yep. And you could just like, it has the onion skin, so you could just whoop
Yep,
whoop 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 and then process it and it's gone, it's done. You don't have to worry about
exactly.
anything.
Yeah, absolutely crazy to see how much TikTok. I mean, the Apple Pencil for me, like, I don't know, it's not a joke when they say it's the most kind of best feeling digital pencil out there. And I don't know how great the technology has, how far the technology has come in the last 5 years, because I started using mine in 2018.
Yeah.
But seeing what I had via Android then, and or Bluetooth connectivity, and it was just kind of like a couple seconds behind, and the strokes felt weird. To now having, the Apple Pencil, which literally just feels like I'm sketching on a piece of paper. I mean, minus the texture of paper, of course. It's
Right.
it's great. It's
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
I use the Surface Studio, so this is my old Surface here, but my husband uses that for work. I got the Surface too, and we have this type of pencil. So you could see how crazy I use that one. That one is just horrible because I'm always like, and then I recently found the new pen that they got, which is this one here. And this one actually has better activity. And you can get it to where it's like almost a pin line, and then it can get thick as hard as you press. So really like that. And I was showing Windows my stuff, and they were interested. I'm gonna get y'all one day. It's gonna be Vesenia Designs powered by Windows. Watch. I'm gonna get there because you guys were interested. I remember I was talking back and forth with them. They're like, "Hey, that looks pretty good. How long you been doing this?"
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's really cool. So Windows, you have the Surface. Now, is that one that comes with? Is it like a Surface specific pen, or is it just a Bluetooth one that you purchased?
No, this one comes with the pen. The black one, I had to actually purchase that one because it was the one with a lot more sensitivity. So I was like, "Oh, let me try that and see how that is." So like when I want to do like more painting like or like more realistic figures, I will use that pen. But with this pen, this one kind of feels like a actual ball pen and
Yeah, it
like
almost looks like one too.
yeah, so it feels like that. And when I draw, it kind of reminds me when I'm sketching on my notepad and just drawing, whatever I want to draw. So I use this one all the time. Oh my goodness.
It's amazing how comfort can influence, your workflow. Just that
Yeah.
familiarity and comfort. But yeah, so the black one that you showed us, that one is also a Surface Pen. It's just a newer version of it.
Yeah, so you can use it
Cool.
on all your Surface devices. You can use it on your Surface Pro, Surface Go, Surface Studio.
That's
And
awesome.
you just, this actually charges wireless, except this one. Like this one you need batteries, but this one is wireless. So it's pretty cool. And it's just you get very refined lines. You can definitely use it as a sketch. You can actually turn it to the side and it gets that nice fat edge that you get from like a pencil. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is the truth when it comes down to pens. And I,
That
I had
was
I had to get it.
that was one of my favorite things when I was messing around with the Apple Pencil. Was I went into Procreate and I picked like the HB pencil brush, and then started turning it on its side and shading with it. And I was like, it works.
Yeah. You don't think so because you're like I don't know about you, but back when we didn't have these type of things, you remember those like fake pens with the little ball tip on
Mm.
it? You just like click and everything was bulky.
Yep.
I'm used to that. I'm not used to turning it to the side and able to shade. I'm like, wait a minute, technology is kind of crazy now.
Yeah, the one that I had like an up and down thing on the side so that you could change the size of your brush
Mm,
as you're going, but it wasn't pressure based. So if I needed a bigger
yeah,
line, I could scale it up to be a bigger line. If I needed it to be smaller, I could scale it down to be smaller. Um,
nice.
but it's nowhere near as nice as being able to, press down just a little bit harder to thicken out a curve or something.
Right. My surface dial, it turns so that it could be able to, like, let's say if I set it for brush sizes, I can draw and turn it and it will go thicker and thicker and thicker.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
like I don't necessarily need the pressure, but that one is nice, especially if like you want to intercheck with the colors and stuff and undo quickly. You just turn the knob.
Nice.
So it's I think technology has done wonders for us or digital artists. It saves a lot of money on paper.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
how many sketchbooks I went through? Yeah, no, and we needed to cut that down a little bit. It's gonna become a fire hazard with me.
That's awesome. Um, so the whole reason we got here was talking about your streaming setup. And the reason I bring it up is because a lot of people ask, oh, what should I get for my camera? What should I get for this or that? And I think the thing that most people that are streamers or have a passion for streaming say is you just got to start doing it. You just
Yeah,
got to start, you got to make your Twitch account. You got to use whatever you can. If you have to buy like a cheap camera, $20 webcam from the store, people aren't sitting there watching your content for its quality. They're there for you. If the quality is great, that helps. And,
right.
it definitely can skyrocket you to a Twitch career.
Yeah,
But I think for those people, especially like the people you were talking about that come and actually chat before you're even there, those people are there because they enjoy the experience of being there with you,
right.
and that's the most important part, right?
Yeah.
So just get started, start building that community. If you do it consistently
Oh
and
yeah.
you enjoy what you're doing, people are gonna start watching.
Right. And I always tell people don't be afraid to connect with other people because you don't know how they are. So, like most of the time, like I'll talk to someone or like if they're drawing, I'll go to their chat if they have like a low view count and I talk to them like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" Like, "Oh, what you're drawing is awesome." And most of the time it's really talented people with the lowest views. So I go there and I hang out and I talk to their people and then they end up showing up in my stream and then they get connected with everybody else, and then here we go. We have another person that's about to be an affiliate because they connected with my community and my community loves them. So they will go over there and it's like a ping pong effect. And then you know, uh I like the gaming community because I like to game. So, if I'm drawing something for Dashu or I'm drawing something for kind of funny or I'm drawing something for JD is mostly like because I want to express myself and show them, hey, look at y'all awesome. I like what you guys do is better than, drawing something that is not gonna do anything like a lot of people ask me if I want to do fan art. I'm like, yeah, I'll draw fan art, but I want to draw fan art for the people, not the main stuff because these people matter and I want them to know that they matter and they look at that stuff and they check you out and they come to your channel just to check you out even more to see how you are. And then they tend to talk to you and you start making connections there. Like, networking is a big key. I'm starting to learn that now. I did before I used to be like more to myself. But talking to people, especially like-minded people, I've noticed that, you know, it's a better experience because I get a different look on a part of the world that I'd never, looked before. I'm an open box, so I like to like look around and see what other people are thinking and what they're going through.
I think that's very similar for us in the sense that when we first started the show, it was Gage throwing out a couple of emails and getting people that were like, "Yeah, we'd love to be on your show. We know you guys. We recognize your names. You guys have supported us over the years. So yeah, let's go ahead and get in there. Let's do that."
Right.
Do you
And
have,
you
do you have
guys,
something to say there, Gage?
oh, my bad.
No, no, no. I just saw him click on his mic.
I just wanted to say you're welcome.
Thanks, Maui. Uh,
Yes.
for those of you that enjoy Moana, get that
Oh
reference.
my goodness, I can't watch that movie without crying.
Oh
So
man.
it's rough because my grandmother, she raised me from uh since I was a newborn all the way to 11. So when she passed away, Moana came out.
Oh wow.
And I remember watching it, and the grandma was there and she
Yep.
looks exactly like my grandmother. And I was like, I hope nothing bad happens to her, but this is Disney, so I know it's gonna happen. And I was just sitting there and I was like, please don't, please don't. And then when she was like with her little cane, I just had to put my face in my shirt because I was like bawling, crying. So I can't watch that. I can't watch that
Mm.
movie without crying. It's my favorite movie. I love Moana. I am Moana of Matanui. Like that's me. But I can't. I start bawling.
Aw, that's awesome.
Oh
I'm
my
I'm actually
goodness.
kind of tearing up just hearing about it.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's me, and for a not great reason, but that's me in the movie Pets.
Wow.
My very first, like, my pet, my puppy, um passed away, and it was on my wife's brother's birthday.
Oh wow.
And Pets was the movie that he wanted to go see, and so all of these things just happened in the same day. So I'm sitting there the day that my baby girl passed away, and watching Pets, and I just could not handle it. I
Oh
just
my
like
goodness.
cried throughout the entire movie. um it was rough, but I still enjoy that movie.
I bet you it's like
And
almost the movie that you're like, yeah, we could watch. That's my movie, but I
yeah.
can't watch it.
Right, exactly.
That's my movie. But
But
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah,
uh
that it's it's hard when you watch something like right there and you're like,
yep.
oh damn it.
Yeah, especially when it hits for one of those reasons.
Hmm.
um yeah, but talk about one of the best movie grandmas ever.
Oh my goodness. My grandmother was the same way. They called her crazy, but she was always speaking facts, even though she sounded like she was speaking in riddles.
Sure.
Um, and like she helped me guide my life. She helped me find that art was my passion. She was very supportive of that. That's why I dedicated my book to her. I even drew my grandmother in my book. So like she's named Nellie just like my grandmother. And like I bawl out in tears every time I draw a panel that's specifically with her
No.
interacting with the main character because I'm like, this is exactly how she would be. And you'll see me on stream just crying. People's like, Vest, what's going on? I'm like, it's just it hits right here. So I can't explain it any other way. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, it's just all that. And it's not tears of sadness, it's more like tears of like
All the happiness, all the,
yeah, all the
yeah.
things that you remembered, all the great times you had, and all the things that you're going to continue to remember. And if you have kids, tell your kids, you know?
Absolutely. um that was a fun little drop tangent to go on.
Yeah.
um uh, okay, 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 okay. I'm getting
You
back, I'm
got
getting back,
this?
I'm getting back. So uh yeah, so reaching out to people, it was like all of a sudden that was possible. That was a thing that we could do. And so I just got in there and I was just like up in everybody's DMs, just like, be on our show. And we ended up getting some absolutely insane guests, just by reaching out and talking to people. And so like Rahul Kohli, for example, star of Midnight Mass, he was nice enough to be on the show and do an interview with us, and it was absolutely bonkers that he was, like, yeah, sure, I'll be on there. Because for me, I didn't really know, Kind of Funny or Funhouse Rahul, right? I found out about him because of iZombie. So for
Yes.
me, he was always like a celebrity, you know? Uh, and then one day, I was watching Kind of Funny and they had an interview with him, and I was like, oh, like, this is him. This is the guy. Oh, this is so cool. I didn't know he was part of this community. And I just, it was like, wow, okay. And then, we reached out, and he decided he was okay being on the show, and it's just wild. Jeff Grubb, that was one that I was like, wait, we got Jeff Grubb on the show? Timur Hussein came on? Wow. So it's just, communicating with people, reaching out, and putting yourself out there can just do wonders or work wonders. The way that I got my first platinum reward tier for Kind of Funny was a friend of mine. So 2020 had just happened. COVID was all around us, and and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just got laid off from my job, and this wonderful person, Al the Predator Tribesman, is, part of the Simply Sassy crew, who unfortunately couldn't be here because he's asleep. He reached out to me and was like, hey, I have this idea for this image that I want. Predator Hunting Grounds is coming out. I'm Al the Predator Tribesman. Can you do like a kind of like old 1950s style cartoon version of the Kind of Funny crew, with me as like the Predator, for a kind of like a Predator Hunting Grounds image? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, I will absolutely do that. And we started working on like the designs for the characters, and of course I referenced them from older cartoons, and the like 1989, so 1989, 1987 Predator movie, whatever it was. And and
What do I know?
no, you're fine, um and I put the finished image out there, and Greg reached out to me. He was like, hey, we want to use this as like the platinum reward tier and like a thumbnail for one of our videos for one of the upcoming Let's Plays. And
Nice.
that was my first interaction with anybody from Kind of Funny outside of KFAF, because I used to do like the Photoshop submissions for them, and it
Nice.
just blew me away. And like that random happenstance, the fact that I was involved in this community and somebody else was like, hey, I want to pay you to make art. And for me, like, I'm more of a hobbyist, right? Like I love doing art, I love making art, but I don't live and breathe making art, right?
Right.
So the idea of making money from art never really hit me until people had seen just some of my random stuff that I post on Twitter, and they were like, well, hey, were you okay doing commissions like for some extra money while you're on hard times during COVID? And I was like, sure.
That's the way it starts.
Yeah, right, exactly. So all of a sudden I started, drawing, and people were like, here's money. And I have no idea what to charge. Like, this is not something that I had done before. And so, it's like, whatever you feel the value of this piece is. And I think because it was the Kind of Funny community, they were all super amazing and super generous, because let's face it, like if this was just random internet, they would have been like, okay, here's $20 or something, and called it a day.
Oh yeah.
but that wasn't the case. I was paid in such a way that I feel, they had probably done this before, and they were like, oh, okay, well, I'll just pay him this much because this is what, this person charged or whatever else. And that was um, an amazing experience for me. And really, even though I've been a Kind of Funny fan ever since, they started, thanks to PS I Love You is how I first got into it. And then
Yeah.
branched out from there. Um, that was the first time that it was really like, oh man, this community, the whole community is amazing. Not just the people that host these shows, not just the KFAF crew that I've come to be friends with. No, like everybody in this community is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah.
Um, and yeah, so just through a random commission from somebody else in the Kind of Funny community was how I've done 2 platinum reward tiers now for them. Um,
Nice.
so yeah, Joey reached out for what was it, July, and was like, "Hey, we want to do something fun. I know you're an artist. You want to do a platinum reward tier?" And I was like, "Yes. However, can I do something weird and crazy?" And so she was like, "Okay, tell me more." And I was like, those voice messages that Greg keeps sending Andy?
I love
What if
those.
what if I typed all of those out and made like a narrative around it and then made weird sketches around all the text? So, based on maybe what they're talking about or things that are going on. And we made like a little booklet for everybody instead of doing like an art piece or a shirt or something like that. And she was like, "Yes, let's do it."
I love that.
So that's hopefully soon that's dropping. Because it was August's reward tier, but I know it's a
Mm.
booklet, so it's probably a little harder to get everything printed and put together and sent out for that one. Plus,
Yeah,
they're moving into the new studio and getting ready for the studio launch party. So,
that's
uh,
gonna be epic because you know how it is. They do it big. So I'm
yeah,
excited. I'm gonna actually try to make it to the live stream for that.
absolutely, it's gonna be so much fun.
Yes, it is.
Um, but yeah, anyway, this all stems from what you were talking about reaching out to people and putting yourself out there, and don't be afraid to talk to someone.
Right.
And you know what? If they are an asshole, if they don't get well, first we'll say if they don't get back to you, that doesn't mean they're an asshole.
No,
They're only an
they're
asshole
probably
if they are like, go fuck yourself, dude. I don't want to talk to you.
right.
Um,
Or block you.
yeah, or just block you. But if they don't get back to you, like, don't let that put you down. Like, Jeff Grubb is a great example of someone that I messaged him in April of 2021. I feel like. And then I messaged him again maybe months later, and he was like, "Oh, hey, this must have gotten buried in my DMs. Sorry I never got back to you on this. This sounds like a lot of fun." And I was like, "Cool." And so what that taught me is silence doesn't mean that they don't care or they don't like you or that whatever. That just means that these people are busy.
Right. Exactly.
So don't be afraid to send multiple messages, but probably don't do it like every day. Like just once every couple of months or something.
Did you hear what happened to T-Pain? It was like I remember he was on social media complaining about how people were not messaging him, like not even the people that he worked with in the past.
Oh whoa!
So yeah, so he was, like F the music community because they didn't get back to me. So he goes on Instagram and he opens up like for the very first time, opens up his inbox. Turns out everybody was messaging him from like years ago trying to
Mm.
do collabs.
Oh
So
my
he was
god!
like, I have to say sorry to this person, this person, this person. I never thought of opening up my Instagram
Right.
DMs.
That's what I was just gonna say though. But it's like, but on the same side of that, like that's kind of on them too for just reaching out on Instagram.
Right. Yeah, but he didn't think about opening any of that. So when people were like during the pandemic, like, hey, you want to make some music? Even Jamie Foxx tried to get a hold of him.
it
Nobody could get old.
it blew me away that he was on Animal Talking.
Yes.
Like
That was hilarious.
so from I don't remember if it was Animal Talking or the streams, but Gary Whitta had T-Pain on, one of his streams, and he connected him with this New Zealand artist who I'm forgetting, it's something Billy, um
Yeah,
on
he knows.
Twitch. He's like a Twitch Handsome Billy, that's it.
Mhm.
And he's like this Twitch artist who does all the music. He's got like a setup all around his room, and he plays all these instruments and stuff, and he does like vocals and like loops it all in real time and makes music like live on Twitch and has a blast doing it. And I remember Gary Whitta raided him once, and just like all of a sudden his stream kind of just started to grow and grow, and now he's doing pretty well.
Mhm.
And the craziest thing though was to see him making music for T-Pain while T-Pain like dropped bars. Like what?
Yeah. It was great, and I think they did, like, a thing where, he was streaming also, so, like, they were, like,
Yes,
meshing the music up and, trying to put, like, some twist on it. It was really cool. I was actually there in the live stream
that's
the
awesome.
live stream for that. I'm sorry.
No, that's great.
I'm always in the community lurking, so it's bad.
No, that's awesome. Very Handsome Billy. That's what it is. It just
Yeah.
came to me. It just came to me. But that I had to message Ben. Please be excited because he's from New Zealand. He's the guy who does like all the photoshops on Twitter and stuff.
Mhm.
Also, Simply Sassy, member. But yeah, I was like, oh my god, there's somebody from New Zealand that's like doing music with T-Pain right now.
Oh,
So funny.
goodness. It was a good one because, I remember they had their little, characters actually on the mic and on the different
Yeah.
type of instruments.
Oh, when they
I
did
was
the
like,
Animal Talking one too.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was so
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was saying is I can't remember which one came first. I don't remember if they did the stream first and then they were like, "Oh, this would be really fun to do on Animal Talking," or if it was Animal Talking and then they just decided to carry it on afterwards.
I
I don't
think it
I
was
don't even
Animal
remember.
Talking. Yeah, it was Animal Talking, and then they carried it on because
They
T-Pain
were
was
having fun.
really
I mean,
interested. Yeah, and they were having fun, so Carrie was like, "Yeah, we're gonna
so
take this
awesome.
somewhere else."
Um So, going back to you, you have a Kickstarter coming up and it launches on October 1st. This will probably be going live right around that same time. I'm looking at you, Gage. I'm probably looking at nothing because I have no idea the arrangement of the screen, but we will, if you just DM me the link, we'll go ahead and put that in the link for the YouTube video so that that's there when it goes live. Um,
Definitely.
I want to make sure that it's up after it goes live, just so people can go watch the episode and go straight into it.
Right.
Um, but go ahead and talk more about this project. Like, how did this come about? Have you used Kickstarter in the past? Is this
Oh,
the
yeah.
so is that
I've been using Kickstarter, I would say, ever since I first started Celestial Post. And I recently had it for the ninth book and I made it on Projects We Love. So that was exciting because I never in my mind ever thought I would get on there. And I was on there and it was an amazing experience. But yeah, I've been on Kickstarter for a while. But this project here, the reason why I started up was because I was doing Inktober as like I wanna try to do something different rather than just digital all the time, and I just wasn't feeling Jake Parker or whatever his name is. I think it's Jake Parker. I wasn't feeling his list because it was way too vague for me, and
oh
I
sure,
couldn't,
sure.
like, make a theme to it or, like, make it pretty enough. Because 'cause I've seen other people do Inktober books, and it was, like, well put together, and I just couldn't do it with his, so, um me and my community was like, what about taking Posty and doing something crazy with him? And I was like, that'd be fantastic. So I would say back in 2019, like once the pandemic started, we started the Posttober journey and I just was going off like all the time, just going off with inks and enjoying turning something super cute into something not so cute. So like when the kids see him, especially on my table, they're like, he looks he looks like a good guy here, but he looks like a villain here. And I'm like, yeah, it's to give him
Wait,
some
was there a
type of
JoJo reference in there on that
yeah.
page?
I love me some JoJo. I'm gonna be completely honest. Right now I'm watching Jolene's
Yes.
part. So yeah, it's like
Yes.
a JoJo look.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it has like the little pulses. I tell people all the time because the reason why I call my community pulse is because pulse in my comic means energy. So I'm like, you guys are the energy that keeps me going. So
That's
that's how
awesome.
we made our little flame pulsey. And ever since then it was just like going off with inks, and they were like, what you gonna do with these? And I was like, I don't know. And they're like, you should turn it into a book. And I'm like, who's gonna buy the book? And they're like, we're gonna buy the book. And I was like, okay, guess what? I'm gonna make a challenge. I'm gonna put it on Kickstarter, and you guys have to put your money where your mouth is. And they did it. They did it. So it's been every 2 year type of thing. So every 2 years we come up with a theme. I will do my drawings and then I'll put a Kickstarter and hope for the best.
So when you say that you collaborated with the community on the book, they came up with the ideas for the pages, or
They came up with the what do you call the prompts. So
yeah.
like when we came up with well recently the DC and Marvel one. I'm like, okay guys, who's your favorite DC characters? Who's your favorite Marvel characters? And we will make like a little poll because in Twitch you can do that. And we will go through and put all the names, plug it in. Would Posey look cool in this? And they're like, nah, you can get rid of that one, but you can put this one. So, we started plugging and playing, and they definitely wanted, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. Ended up adding those. Um, just having it to where they felt included enough to want to do it with me. So now we
Nice.
have like a thing where I will do my drawings, and once I will say 10 o'clock hits, I will go on, look at hashtag Posttober and see what other people have created. And
Oh, that's awesome.
it's so cool just to see how they come up with their own stuff. And I don't keep it restricted. Like I'm like, you gotta make sure he's in his form, he has his heart, his tail, his wings. Everything else, go crazy. So you could do it paint, you could do it digital, you could do it traditional. I don't
So
care.
are the images, like, for example, for the one that's coming up, is it like Wolverine but it's it's
Yeah,
Pulsey as Wolverine? Oh my gosh. Okay, okay.
yeah.
I'm
I
all
don't
in.
know if I have I don't know if I have a thing here. No, I don't. Sadly, I did not bring my book, but I do have my sketchbooks, and it I have like um all the other ones that I did for like DC, which is which one looked really, really cool that I liked? Oh, I did the Teen Titans.
Oh, nice.
So, I had
Like
Robin, like
Starfire and
yeah,
Raven and
Starfire, right, Raven, all of them, and they just look super amazing. And I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna definitely be a good book, and showing it off in cons, because the reason why it's in my book is because I put it in my portfolio. And when they look at that stuff, a lot of other people who never been part of my community, they go to my they go into it and they're like, oh, you're gonna turn this into the book? I can't wait. Where's your business card? I want this on my shelf. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, hold up. Let me see. I got something. So this is Dr. Fate. I hope it is. There we
there it
go.
goes. There it goes.
Yeah. So, it's just different ones. We got like Poison Ivy.
Oh, that's so cute.
You got my man Apocalypse here. So, it's like a cute version, but they're just definitely you know,
Oh, Bane.
miniature size.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you have fun with those. It's I know when I went, they were like, I really like how you just turn them into small little icons. And just I'm like, it's the mascot that that's the way I
Absolutely.
draw him.
That's awesome.
Thank
And so
you.
that's the book that's going on Kickstarter, is the Marvel
Yeah,
DC. Nice.
definitely. So you're gonna definitely see your favorite superheroes in one packet. And the superheroes that I did miss because the community thought of a different idea for that character, I'm definitely gonna still be sketching the actual characters in there so
Nice.
that they could everybody can enjoy all the characters.
Unfortunately, my favorite character won't be there, but it's okay. I understand. Booster Gold isn't loved by everybody.
What? No, do not say that. I got you right now. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Do not say that because I fell in
What?
love with Booster Gold and one of the I think it was was it Young Justice? It was Young Justice. And they were talking about him and stuff like that. So I did.
Yeah. Oh, he's beautiful.
Isn't he? Has his ring and everything. So
That's
yes,
awesome. The
he's
Legionnaires ring.
definitely in the book.
Okay. All right. All right. You got me on that one. I honestly did not think that Booster Gold would be in there. So
Oh
I threw it out
yeah.
there as a joke and you got me.
Yeah, what happened was I ended up watching Smallville, because I never watched all of it,
Yeah.
and, they had they had when Booster Gold came, and I was like, "Yo, he's such a douchebag, like, I can't deal with him." But when he showed up in Young Justice, I was like, "Whoa, this is, like, a different perspective." So definitely started, taking a look into his whole backstory and like looking up the comics and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, and I get it now.
Mm,
you know, definitely a hero that needs to be added, and everybody agreed. So I was like, oh, cool.
that's
I'm glad we're on
awesome.
the same page.
I always it's a running joke with my friends and I because I'm like the only person I know that enjoys Booster Gold. So it's always just a running joke. And so I thought I'd throw it out in this and here we go.
Here we go.
That's awesome. Okay, so on to the community questions that we have. Uh Not even tweeting man on Twitter, at tweeting even asked you, at age 17, you were coined as the Brooklyn.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna butcher this, unfortunately, but Boricua
I think that's
is
what it is. Boricua.
okay. Yeah, artist. What was the story behind this?
There is not a story behind that. I'm pretty sure that's Zelandon from my Twitch community. And he always tells people that I drew the series tower or something like that, and that my face is on there. And the community has like definitely went on board with this. I'm sorry for the person who actually created this architecture. I wasn't part of it. But yes, no, I've been drawing and it's been for years.
That's awesome. I just had to Google to see if I could see if anything would come up,
Oh my goodness.
but
I hope not because they were making memes in my Discord and they will have the entrance to the Sears Tower. They'll have my
yeah.
picture in the middle.
Oh my god.
It's horrible.
All right, so I've been staring at this GIF out of the corner of my eye for like what, an hour and a half now, and it's the shaking cat that says "curiosity intensifies." That's why if you saw me look over, it's because I kept seeing that out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, "What? Oh, right." But this tweet comes from Tammy Robotile, or Robotile Tammy, as the at, and it says, "What is one artist you aspire to have a style like?"
Oh, um, that's rough because I love all type of styles and I just like looking at what other people have created. Um, There is this one book, it's called La Boriqueña, is written by I forgot his name. I remember his face vividly, but I forgot his name. But the way that he drew, well, the person he hired to draw the first book, I fell in love with the way that they made the hair and stuff like that. So I was like, I definitely want to like portray how they play with the vibrancy of the colors and um how they diversify the hair enough with the textures with using colors to make my stuff pop a little bit more. And I think I'm almost there.
That's awesome. So from there, I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're not feeling well, even though you would not know without me saying that. You've been absolutely wonderful throughout this whole thing, but I really feel like you need to rest and
Yeah.
get back to 100%.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna throw it over to Gage real quick. Do you have any other questions that you want to ask real quick, or?
No, we kind of covered everything. You basically asked any question that I was gonna have, so good, good job.
Good job.
um is there anything that you want to throw out there? I mean, obviously we've promoted your Kickstarter coming October 1st a couple of times, but is there anywhere or anything that you want to throw out there and promote? Like, do you have a website? Um
Um Definitely, I'm Google friendly. So, Vesenia, and you will find me. I'm like the only person in the world with this name. You can thank my mother. But yeah, I do a lot of Twitch. Definitely on there. So Vesenia Designs there. And Monday through Fridays, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If anything changes, I'm on Twitter. And I will let you guys know. Recently I had to pull the brakes because I was too sick. I couldn't I couldn't do it. I was hunched. But yeah, that's mostly what I'm doing and the Kickstarter that's coming up soon, so definitely keep an eye out. Um, and if you follow my Twitch, I will be having a Kickstarter launch party where I'll be drawing for those who help the first day of the launch. So I can make whatever superhero you want, or I can make a custom superhero posty style for you.
that's awesome. Um and then from there, I'm still actually thinking about the booster call. um Stop it, Gage.
We're
I
gonna have
love
to
this
send
man,
booster
okay?
gold to him.
um so from there, what oh my gosh. So I had something I wanted to say, and then I started thinking about Booster Gold again, and then I forgot. I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. Um oh nope, I lost it. I completely lost it. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Anything else you wanna throw out there? Is that it?
That
I
is
think
all.
I think that's a perfect place to close the show because I'm lost. I'm walking down the road of Booster Gold right now. I'm traveling through time, 10,000 years, into the future because I completely forgot what I was talking about.
Nice.
Thank you everybody for watching. If you got this far, you are absolutely amazing, and it's been wonderful to have you on the show. Please go take care of yourself. Please get well. You are an absolute gem. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I didn't expect, and I didn't expect it, I love watching you guys shows, and I thank you for actually wanting to like, hear what see what I do, hear what I gotta say.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
No,
thank you
and
for having me.
I think the most important thing is my hope anyway is that somebody is going to watch this, an aspiring artist, someone that wants to do what you do or wants to learn how to do what you do, and is able to watch this video and hear you talk about streaming, or how you got started printing your own books and stuff like that, or how you got started in art, and they're inspired by that, and that's the whole point. It's
Yep.
all about you, and I mean that when I say that to people. Like, if you can't make the show, that's fine, because you know, if we can do it a week from now, 2 weeks from now, it's about when it's best for you, because you are the most important thing about this show.
Right.
And you know, thank you. So thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
All right, everybody, have a wonderful day.